Let's say you have a riff like this. What could we do if we wanted to make it cooler? We could add a leading note at the start of the arpeggio, but at the moment it's still basically just a straight up arpeggio. Let's turn it into more of a riff by playing it twice, and we'll go up melodically at the end. This is starting to sound a lot cooler, and it's a compositional idea that I really like. Playing the same riff, but giving it a different shape melodically at the end. The variation becomes more obvious, and our ear is drawn to it because it directly contrasts the part of the riff that we hear twice because it hasn't changed. But what if we wanted to make it sound even cooler? Well, perhaps instead of playing the D minor 7 arpeggio twice, we could stack an E minor 7 arpeggio on top of it. This gives us the same idea melodically. We end up on the same top note, and the first part of the arpeggio is the same, but it gives us a slightly different texture, and I think it feels like it leads more naturally to that E. But why does this work? What's actually going on? We build chords by stacking thirds, but we don't have to stop at a 7th chord. We can keep stacking thirds and get the 9, the 11, the 13. At this point, we're using all of the notes in the scale. But rather than trying to memorize a whole bunch of 7-note arpeggios for the 7 chords in the key, there is a simple trick we can use that only requires us to know the single octave arpeggio shape for 4 arpeggios. That seems a lot less intimidating. Do you remember what notes we got when we kept stacking thirds as far as we could? Turns out we get the same notes if we simply play a 7th arpeggio and then stack the next chord in the scale on top of it as a 7th arpeggio. Not only is this way easier to remember from a muscle memory point of view, it also has the added benefit of improving your perception of the notes on the fretboard and their scale degree functions. Not only is this method easier, it does way more to improve your musicianship and general understanding of music theory. Here are the 4 different 7th arpeggios we'll be using. We've got our major 7th, the right expression, and the left expression. Minor 7th, the right expression, and the left expression. We've got our dominant 7th, the right expression, and the left expression. And we've got our half diminished chord, the right expression, and the left expression. We can apply these shapes all over the fretboard. They might look a little different because of how the B string behaves, but we're not gonna let that throw us. If you're unsure how the B string works and how to avoid letting it confuse you, check out this quick video and then pop back to this one afterwards. So here are some of the fully extended arpeggios we can play by combining adjacent 7th chords. Make sure you check the link in the description and head along to guitarnutrition.com if you want the tabs of every single one of these arpeggios. We're only going to go over a couple of them in the video just for the sake of time. We can take a C major 7th arpeggio, right expression, and combine it with a D minor 7th arpeggio, right expression. We can do the same C major 7th arpeggio left expression combined with D minor 7th arpeggio left expression. We could take the D minor 7th arpeggio right expression and combine it with the E minor 7th arpeggio right expression. This is the same one we were doing in our earlier examples, however this version is starting on the low E string. So the fingering ends up being a bit different. We could take a G dominant 7th arpeggio and combine it with an A minor 7th arpeggio. In all of these instances, I'm visualizing both arpeggios, one after the other. I'm thinking about the scale degrees for each arpeggio. 1, 3, 5, flat 7, 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7. And it becomes a heck of a lot easier to perceive the notes that I'm playing on the fretboard. G, B, D, F, A, C, E, G. Once again, head along to guitarnutrition.com, linked in the description, if you want the full list of arpeggios that you could play with this idea. So I think one of the worst things that less experienced guitar players get caught up on is root notes. The root note is of no more importance than the 5th or the third scale degree. It just has a different role in the chord. If you really want to level up your playing and the usefulness of these arpeggio shapes, make sure you also practice them with their inversions, not just from the root note of the chord. If we practice our arpeggios with inversions, we'll find there are so many different positions we can play them in all over the fretboard. Inversions don't have to be scary. We just have to visualize the fragment of the left or right expression being used at the edge of the fretboard. Well, that's the video. I hope you found it useful. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment letting me know what you would like to learn. Don't forget to head along to Guitar Nutrition, linked in the description, for all of the tabs that accompany this lesson, and I'll catch you next time.